What up? What up? What up, man? You know what it is. We back for another week. Judge my damn opinion. I'm gonna say this, man. It been so much going on. Especially with this HBCU, PWI talk. I have a lot of friends hit me. Like I said, that conversation gonna come back around. But I have a lot of people be hitting me and want to talk about it. I'm telling you what, I have invited a whole bunch of people here to talk about it, to give their perspective on HBCUs and help educate us who don't know. But ain't nobody step to the front. So with that being said, we back for another week, man. Just my damn opinion, you know what I'm saying? They like assholes. Everybody got them, and guess what? I got one too. And with that being said, I got a homie who got one of my partners from the high, HBCU representative, PWI representative. He one of the few guys that I know got a perspective on both because he lived both. I'm gonna bring my homeboy Patrick, we call him Pot, into the studio, man, and I let him say what's up to the people, man.
What's going on, man? How you doing? How you doing? What's going on, world? Blessed by the best. Continue to be here with all the rest. You understand?
I hear you. I hear you. Well, man, I was just talking, you know what I'm saying? I was just kind of, venting a little bit before I brought you on camera, man. I was saying, the last few episodes, we kind of talked about HBCUs, PWI, just our own experience, I know a lot of people that have HBCU experiences, man, and they hit me up after the show during the week and want to talk about it. And I give them the invite, but nobody's here. I want everybody to know your damn opinion, because to be honest, you know what I'm saying, it's informative for me and it's very educational, man. So if you know some people on your end, Pot, that have attended HBCUs, when this topic comes back up, hey, man, invite them to the show. That's the best thing about my show, bro. I'm small time. In and everybody welcome.
True.
Let me ask you this. So I get it would be my first question. So do you think there's a hindrance or some type of hindrance that, maybe just because it's a public forum, people may not want to, have everybody know their damn opinion? Like, what is there something? What would be something that would hesitate people to give their own damn opinion on a public forum?
I guess it's almost like somebody who's not a registered voter. You really don't have an opinion. Okay. But it's just the opposite. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got the experience. You had the experience. You got something to say. Don't wait till something to happen, or don't wait till the wrong thing gets said, or you feel like the wrong thing got said. Now you got something to say.
Now, when you say that, now I want to see. That was I'm sure I'm going to take the brunt for this. That was I get the call during the week. So let me ask. So, and once again, I don't never want to put words in somebody's mouth. You know what I'm talking about? But when you said that, I took it when you were talking about voting. It's almost like I want to complain about laws and everything that's going on in my community type thing, but I won't get out and vote to change the laws. Exactly. Meaning, okay. I'm glad you said that it's not me. I'm sure I get the calls and backlash from this. But no, I wasn't saying it like that. But when you say that, I do understand the metaphor and how you trying to. I do understand that, and that is interesting. Okay, wow. But that was, I guess in a sense, that's kind of what I'm saying is, like I said, I get the calls during the week and I talk to people, and they're like, that, like this. I'm like, well, you should have chimed in, gave us your opinion. Come on the show. Don't just tell me. Let everybody know, because I might not be the only one that don't know. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to CA. What up, Big Wide Out? CA in the comments. I just want to give him a shout out, man. He's another good buddy of ours. He also on another show that we have, Respect the Hedges. Shout out to Respect the Hedges.
Shout out, Respect the Hedges, baby. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So just to chop it up before we get too heavy, we start off heavy. I always try to like just go a little bit light, just kind of get into the gossip. That's all we're doing in the way gossip, giving our own down opinion. It ain't never really that serious. So what's going on with ESPN, man? They chopping forehead left and right. I'm talking about people that don't been there for years, big salaries, which is probably part of it. But what's your take on ESPN chopping these heads? Do you think they're just trying to bring in, which they already have? They're just trying to bring in new talent. The show got stale, losing money. What you think about that?
Man, I mean, they knocked off some real true heavy hitters, you know. I mean, from my research and what I've experienced and what I'm seeing with them, they liable to generate about $5 billion next year
From
with
the
the
cuts.
from the cuts, from the
So
cuts.
so they were losing money.
I'm on the outside looking in. I love ESPN. I've been watching them for over 30 years, so I've seen them rise, and I don't see where they've fallen. I've just seen them evolve every time. So
I
evidently
heard
they
they
have
were
something up
losing
their
money.
sleeve.
I heard they were losing money.
Hey, where they losing it at?
Well, obviously on those particular shows that they were producing. You know, advertising and stuff. I mean, you know, you have to pay for that stuff nowadays.
Yeah.
Obviously on those particular shows that they were trying to bring in. I got an echo. Let me.
Now see they the whole Jay Will and Max Keyshawn Johnson in the morning, they cut that whole show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, listen, this is what I would say. You know, ultimately, you got to understand this, man. The dollars make sense. They wouldn't be cutting these folks if they was, you know what I'm saying, bringing in the dough. You know what I mean? Now, that show could have been ranked, you know, maybe top 5, I don't know, top 10 in morning shows or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, but whatever it wasn't equating to a financial standpoint where ESPN should have kept them because clearly First Take is still there. Now, Steve Nate came out and said
around the horn still humping.
Which, you know, I ain't never been. I mean, I like the concept, but they need to get new people on around the horn. I like the concept. They need to get some new people around the horn. Now, some of those folks that it let go now, I ain't gonna lie, folks. It was probably about time. You know, I don't want to say nobody be stealing checks because, you know.
Like last week, you know.
Well, I mean, like, you know, just, you know, I'm gonna be Jeff Van Gundy. Come on, all right. You know, I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? You know, former coach. Now, I'm not doubting his knowledge of basketball acumen at all. But just, you know, as a viewer watching it, bro, like he didn't do it for me at all. It was a few people that let go, you know. I'm just like, it was about time.
Steve Young.
That was another one. As great as a player he was.
Yeah, Hall of Famer.
He was terrible, bro.
Time to wrap it up.
Who matter of fact, they go down a few lists. I know it's about 15 to 20 on. Give me on somebody else who you know you're not necessarily upset about the decision or would question the decision. Other than Steve Young. You said Steve Young, that was one, right?
Now, you know they couldn't wait to
get Jeff Van Gundy. That was one. So
they couldn't wait to get rid of Jalen Rose. They was waiting to get rid of Jalen Rose.
Think he was too woke?
Man. Oh, I really.
I mean,
you know they go so deep.
Jalen was okay to me. He, in my opinion, he could have been too woke.
I like the Jalen, but remember he had the other show with the guy. They cut that show. So
him and it was Jalen. It was I know the show you're talking about though. I actually like that show. That show was kind of cool.
It was cool. Yeah.
Maybe Jalen could have been a casualty of just, you know, some other things going on. I don't know. You know, nobody knows. Okay, so that was another one for you. So another person for me that I wasn't really necessarily, you know, upset about and had a big salary. Max Kellerman.
Oh yeah. Man. Max is a boxing guy.
And to no fault of his own, you know, everybody got their specialty, but he just didn't. He didn't move the needle for me. Max didn't move it for me.
Oh,
Not at all.
Hasselbeck, Matt Hasselbeck.
Yeah,
Chop.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So you can
Which,
kind of see the cleanup, the reason unnecessary why I guess. I don't, yeah, you
oh,
know ESPN.
shout out,
ESPN always come back
shout out
hard.
to
They
Coach
always
I,
come back.
man.
They
Shout
always
out to
come back
Coach
hard.
I. It was Jalen and
Coach,
Jacoby. It was
what's
Jalen
up,
and
Coach?
Jacoby. That was the show.
Okay.
He just put it out. Yeah, I asked Jalen and
Yeah,
Jacoby
yeah,
was
David
cool with me
Lynch, Coach.
because they were able to be themselves, and I like anytime you can be yourself on a show and not necessarily be, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So, but maybe that might be the reason why they got let go, trying to
You
be
always hear
themselves.
stories about people try to change images and behind the scenes stuff that we never see that they come out with later on with interviews, and so we'll hear about it later on.
What about I know they let what's her name was it Susie Colbert? She had or something like that. She had been on for a very long time too.
Woo. Yeah, yeah.
But those people getting some big salaries, man. It's some big salaries, and I guess at the end of the day, like we were saying, you got to cut costs, man. Advertising and stuff costs. They brought what my boy they cut a dog, man. David Pollard, man.
Oh yes. Shout out to David Pollard, man. But David
Yes,
gonna
for
be all
sure.
right. David gonna
Yeah.
be all right. Your
Well, I
dog.
think
He's gonna be
I
all
think
right. What can I tell you?
I think
So,
a lot of them folks gonna be all right. Folks. They was all right before anyway.
I mean, for us financially, but David's still young enough to do enough. So we're gonna see him again.
Well, in that world, I don't know if it's necessary. Well, I guess if you're in one place for too long, but yeah, I mean, the best thing about that is it's not based off of your kind of physical talents and attributes. You know what I'm saying? So, but most of those people are good at what they do and been doing it for a long time. And you got the best thing on your resume, ESPN. You know what I mean?
Come on.
So I think they'll be all right, man. But yeah, but that's just been something that's been going on a lot, and it's just it's affecting a lot of people, man. So it's going to be a big change up in the network. I'm an ESPN watcher, so a lot of the shows I watch and some of them I can't. That's why I was kind of like I wasn't so necessarily mad about some of the people they let go. Let me ask you: was there anybody who you thought they should have let go and didn't?
Mm, I can tell you what I thought. Whose name I was gonna hear was on the brink. Oh, Stephen A. Smith.
But I'm saying, do you think they should let him go?
Ah,
You know what I'm
ah,
saying? Was there anybody who you thought they should have let go? Because I
mm.
heard a lot of people screaming Malik Andrews.
See, when they come down to them, man, I just go with the flow of ESPN and just trust whatever they do. Just because, like I said, we still on the outside looking in, and they're gonna be the best thing smoking. You still gonna watch them.
You know what I want? I want to see more L. I wish L
Now,
Duncan
L is the
had.
truth.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm
she
saying? I wish
ATL
L
bread.
Duncan had.
ATL bread.
It ain't even got nothing to do with that. I just wish she had Malika Andrews' particular spot. You know what I'm saying? On the NBA, like L just her
But she on the
knowledge,
rise, though.
man.
She on the rise.
Yeah. But L just be on it, man. I like her, man, and she stand her ground too. You know what I'm saying? She
Mhm.
really. So
She
that's
held
what I
down
like.
the NCAA women tournament this year too.
Hey, for sure, yeah. So look
Hmm.
here, man. I'm gonna switch gears a little bit, man. I'm gonna hit you with some, man, and I'm gonna see if how this flow to you. So I don't know if you're aware or have you heard. The NFL has they cutting out the speed sweep and a part of the run option game. Have you
Mm.
heard anything about it?
Mm. Vaguely. Inform me just a little bit more about that.
So
What's the rule?
So what they're doing, they're cutting out the speed sweep. I don't know why they're doing it, but I mean, I can only assume why they're doing it. Which definitely speed sweep.
Mm.
That can put defenses at a disadvantage. You have a player running full speed and is able to get the ball between the guard and tackle to outflank defenses. So maybe that's why they getting rid of it. That really didn't trigger me. What triggered me was the read option going to the quarterback position. So what
Ah.
they're not outlawing the read option, So what they're doing is, when you run a read option and you put the ball in the running back's belly,
Yeah, when you
you
read, yeah.
can you can no longer ride that running back with the ball in his belly. You have to give the ball out parallel to the running back now. So if the running back's in front of you, it's illegal.
So that's an illegal forward pass or something.
Well, I don't know if you consider illegal for a pass, but it's going to be a penalty. It's going to be illegal. They may call it maybe illegal motioning or something. I don't know. I don't know what the penalty is going to be. But you have
sound like it's another way they're trying to keep the game scoring. They're trying to keep the game scoring. They always try to make it an offense. They try to keep it in the offense advantage. They're trying to keep it.
But I think it'll be more of an offensive advantage if you're able to ride it in his belly because the defense don't know what you're doing.
Well, that's for the defense. I mean, yeah, that'd be for the defense. Yeah,
that's gonna make it harder for the offense. Because what the quarterback is doing, he's putting the ball in his belly and he's reading that defensive end. Generally, he's reading the end. If the end crashes, he's gonna pull it out his belly and go around the corner. If that end, like he's gonna play quarterback, a lot of times ends got a quarterback and somebody else got pitched for him. So he's reading that end. If he think that end is gonna take him, he's gonna go and let the running back go with the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna yeah, man. But what I'm saying is that's gonna take away. I hate y'all, but it's just the truth, man. It seems like I always go back to this, but you gotta understand that's what most colleges are running, right? You do know that, right?
Oh yeah.
I would say most colleges are running the read option, and most read option quarterbacks are generally.
So is it just the NFL, or they gonna implement it in college?
No, it's just the NFL. But you gotta understand it's a trickle down effect, bro. Like if it's going on in the NFL, it's gonna go down to college. Because at the end of the day, that's just like one thing about UGA's particular style of offense that we run. We run a pro style offense. So when you come to play football with us, you're gonna have a lot of things that are gonna be familiar in the NFL. You run a pro style offense. As if you went to Slauburn a few years ago and they was running all read option and stuff, you know what I'm saying? It in a sense, a lot of people say they don't prepare you for the NFL. It's gimmicky football. You know what I'm saying? But they did have a number one pick, but he was just Cam Newton. He was just a stud. I don't care where he played. He was just going to be who he was. But I'm just saying, so what I'm getting at is like me and my, shout out to Mr. Zachary, my goddad, we had a conversation years ago. And I used to tell him, hey, all these schools run these read options. That's really dumbing down the quarterback position. It's turning it more into an athletic position than it is. It used to be about drop back, read the defensive throw, which you still have to do.
Yeah, they still want
now. Yeah, but now, over the, past, 10, 15 years, however you want to say it, there's been more athletic quarterbacks coming in. It's been changing the game. So that read option has become that much more of a focal point. Mm-hmm. Like you see, like NFL running college offenses almost certain times.
Yes, sir. Wow.
Because they're trying to cater to their strongest players' needs. So I don't know if the NFL, putting these particular rules in. I don't know if it's for safety or if it's bigger issues, meaning at the quarterback position. Because that could affect a lot of guys coming out of college. You don't think?
Yeah. A lot of those read option quarterbacks, yeah. Unless they had an offense coordinator who can change the game real quick to get them ready, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's always something.
Wow. Learn something new every day.
Yeah, that happened. I think that happened I think they passed it in March. I think. Hope I'm not confusing with something else, but yeah, it's definitely going to be. Coach, I say no Anthony Richardson first round draft pick if that was already in play. I don't even, Coach, to your particular comment, I'm wondering if he's gonna even start. I know they're trying to get him ready, but I wonder if he's gonna start. Is he competing against Minshew, Gardner Minshew? Chime back in if you get a chance, Cole. But I don't know if he's gonna start, man. Now that was a real experimental pick right there. Now he had everything you needed to project Anthony Richardson, former UF quarterback. He had the size, speed. I mean, he had all the physical things. But I'm just looking at the tape. Hey, bro, he might fuck around and knock your drink out your hand in the stands if you ain't paying attention to the game. You like they right here football, man. You know what I'm saying? And he trying to throw the 15-yard out and knock the fucking drink out your hand.
Boy.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, maybe, but all NFL coaches think, they can take that talent and mold it. You know what I'm saying? So, who knows? Nobody knows, but
it's been working. It's been working.
So Coach said, I think they're trying to hype him up, but take away the athleticism, and him or Gardner Minshew about the same. Yeah. Gardner gonna probably only way Gardner don't beat him out if it come down to numbers, Coach. And when I'm talking about numbers, I ain't talking about count. I'm talking about them dollars.
That read option gonna keep him out.
Hey. Well, look here, Pot, man. I try to keep it, real light, man. I always try to keep it light. But once again, I'm gonna switch issues from this read option thing, which I actually think is pretty. I think that's a big deal, man. I don't know if a lot of people know about that yet. That's gonna be huge for the few people that do run it. What's my boy Chicago?
Fields. Yeah, Justin Fields.
Like that's gonna change. Like they literally gonna have to rework. Cause I can see so many penalties coming from that, not knowing. You know what I'm saying?
Kyler Murray too.
Yeah, Kyler Murray too. Like they're gonna have to I'm saying they've been trained totally different throughout their whole career about it. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna have an effect on that athletic quarterback. Josh Allen too. You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen. What's my boy in Cleveland? Watson. Now I do think a lot of these guys are.
Now he got potential to be a drop back quarterback.
Yeah, I'm saying a lot of these guys I think are able to still do what's needed. It's just that particular aspect of their game, which also, in addition, really helps the run game.
Yeah.
That's going to be taken away from
I guess the offense coordinators got to just jazz up the book a little more, man. Get rid of it a little early, or just keep the ball. Just hey, Wildcat, keep.
I think that that's just like that little box I got going around my little head, that little gray box. All I think it really does for the quarterback position is just makes it a little bit tighter. It shrinks it in. Maybe athleticism that can be taken away just a little bit and leaning more towards reading defenses in the arm. That's really what I think it's about. They trying to just limit the athleticism just a little bit. Because there's a whole bunch of certain type quarterback coming out. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they're coming out next year.
There's a lot of other folk that play quarterback that can just get that thing and drop back.
Yes, hey, that 24 draft, they coming. Them gunslingers really in the 24 draft.
Well, we gonna see.
Got a few of them.
But I think the new rules are gonna help, guys who are not quite as athletic as a lot of the guys that tend to come out. Cause they're just like what's your boy down in Tennessee? Malik? Is it Malik Willis?
Yeah, Malik Willis.
Oh, wait.
We're waiting on him.
He was first round with like top 23, 20.
Maybe
21.
I think he went down in the draft. I think he came out like third round. Yeah, he came out late in the draft, like third round.
I didn't first. You sure? Man, you're gonna have me Google it. I thought Malik was third round. I know Coach, right? Coach, what Malik was? Pull it up, Coach. What Malik was? Malik Willis, quarterback at Tennessee. I think
he was like third round pick. He was like a third round pick.
I need stat guy on the job. Let me see a coach look out for him. I could have sworn I thought he went like top 23. I thought he went first round, maybe 21 or something like that. But anyway, so but yeah. But with that being said, man, let me switch gears a little bit, like I was about to switch gears uh, earlier, man. Once again, and if everybody that don't know, this show is just totally improvised. Is nobody do no studying, nothing like that. Okay, so you were right, Pi. He fell to the third round, 86 overall. Appreciate that, coach.
Yes,
So
sir.
you were right. So you were right. You were right. Uh, but he was first round projected, obviously, but went to spell to the
Oh yeah,
third.
they boosted it up because he was at Liberty. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And listen, third round was a reach for me, but that's another story. Uh, so yeah, this show is totally improvised, man. There's no studying going on. We just come out the dome. We just really chopping up, talking, giving it's just really our damn opinion. So I don't know if you're aware, but some pretty big news went down, man. Basically for college admissions, they cut out affirmative action for college admissions, meaning schools no longer have to have admit people based on being minorities, and not necessarily blacks, just minority. Period. What minority means. Have you heard anything about that? You have any opinions on how that maybe can affect college
Yep.
admissions? Will you be athletes or not? Scholars and athletes. That's what I call them. Scholars and athletes.
Man,
I,
I really can't speak on that politics side of that, man. Like as far as that, the way I was reading it and interpreting, I was thinking like, well, maybe since now it'll be in our favor since they can't judge us now from being the minority to get in school, or was I wrong for thinking that, or what? I don't know if I was right or wrong for that.
hold on. Hold on. Say that again now.
The way I interpret it, that's why I'm asking you, like, break it down to me, because the way I interpreted was that with the affirmative action, that they can't, like, now by you being black or Latina or any other ethnic group, they can't really use that based on admissions as far as getting in school now. It's like, is it open book now, fair game? So there won't be a question as far as like, what is your ethnicity when you
You
doing
know
the
that
application now?
now. That was actually going to be my not question, but kind of proposal. So I don't know if that's happening. I don't know if they're going to take that off, because that's almost talking about that's like affirmative action and kind of like equal inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as I know, from what I know about it, is just in terms of college admissions, colleges are no longer gonna have to. I guess when you talk about affirmative action, you go down to almost like a percentage. It goes down to numbers. You had to have a certain number to meet a certain quota,
Mm-hmm.
right? So with that no longer being valid, having to use affirmative action, now we don't have to have a certain, which goes back to equal inclusion almost in a sense. But now you don't have to have, say, if you got 10 students, 3 of them had to be black or of another minority or whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
That is no longer going to be the case.
Okay.
Now, how you get those 10, now, I don't know if you now have to check. I'm black and I'm enrolled in African American. I'm enrolled. I'm Asian. I'm enrolled. I don't know if that's going to be taken off the application. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But they, at the end of the day, they no longer have to have a quota, so to speak.
Hmm.
Do you think having? I guess. Do you think affirmative action was a positive or a negative?
Man, I guess it's kind of like, because they didn't have the affirmative action when they first did the act. then they wouldn't have to, like you said, they didn't have to have us a certain minority number in order to get in a certain institution. So that kind of helped for those that took advantage of it. But no, man, I think everybody, I feel like they just don't worry about no ethnicity. Just fill out an application and come to go to school. It's all about education at the end of the day.
Which almost it kind of almost wrapped back down into our weight of degree conversation we was having. We just, it boiled down to when you get that individual in there. But once again, I don't know if that's going to be on there or not. It would seem if you're trying to, level the playing field, you would take those things off of the application. But when you had affirmative action, I'm sure those things were needed because those things are what help capture data. Those are data capturing tools to know how many of this you got. It's just those are things that are just good to know. You don't like if you take that off the application. Well, I guess you can still track it, but if you take that off the application, it's almost like you ain't gonna know what you have until you get there. Like when do you find out what you got? You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Oh damn! Now I just went off. For the application. Now I got 20,000 of these and only got 5 of these. Oh, that can't be what's going. You know what I'm saying? So like,
but y'all better get that back.
So that's what I'm saying. Like you need those things to capture data. So I guess it boils down to when you're capturing that data, the decision maker, how can they not be biased? That's the thing about human nature. How can you not be biased? So if I ask myself the same question, I think affirmative action was, especially just in its basis, it may have transformed or morphed into something else, but just at its basis, I think it was for the better. I think it was for the better. Like a lot of people, like a lot of my generation and generation or two before me, like they benefited for that. Like they wouldn't have had chances to go to school, get jobs, or none of that stuff just because they wasn't offered a fair slot. You know what I'm saying? It's almost to the, not to switch gears or change gear, but just an opinion. That's just like we had guys on the last episode who came from bad places, but if they were not athletes, they couldn't have came to the university. Only reason they got to come to the University of Georgia because they were athletes. But that didn't mean they couldn't pass the courses and graduate, which they did. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the affirmative action for athletes is like being an athlete. Like without being an athlete, without affirmative action, we couldn't get in or get a fair shot to get in. But because we're not getting a fair shot, don't mean we can't complete the task. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So for me, affirmative action, I like it. I think a lot of our wealth has been built off of it because without it, we wouldn't got a fair opportunity, and we were still good enough, if not better. You know what I'm saying? It's almost saying like, okay, imagine this right here. Black athletes are no longer able to go to PWIs based off of their athletic prowess. You have to make the same score as a scholar to go there. If that was the case, guess what's going to start happening? HBCUs going to turn up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say the majority of the athletes going to have to go to HBCUs. That's going to change the whole game. But I guarantee you, that won't happen. Man. So it's like, if you want, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, if you want, you're gonna take the athletes, but you won't take the people who regularly got the regular grades to get in. You see what I'm saying? Like this is getting very, very, very fickle, man.
Yeah, and black athletes making up your percentage of that what you need to have on that affirmative action thing. We got enough black athletes to cover that.
No, well, I mean, well, I'm just looking at it from your athletic program, and I'm talking about the money drivers, which are generally football and basketball. Those are the money drivers, and for PWIs, I'm sure
Mhm.
most rosters are probably 85% something else other than, you know what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is like if you got 85% of those representing the sports, but you only have two or three, like we got more scholars in it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's all
you
I'm
might have.
saying.
Yeah, you got a single digit percentage of scholars compared to your student
Right.
athlete. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm saying that like if you want to take the smart people, but you gonna only so what I'm saying at the end of the day, what you're gonna see at PWIs is all athletes, and you
Mm.
know you might see a sprinkle here of scholars.
And if they from our country,
Well, but this that now you know now we just keeping it now. You got to think about now when. Well, I tell you this now. This is one thing I will say. A lot of foreigners who come now they do pay their tuition. They pay their tuition in full. You know what I'm saying? They don't get a lot of loan. They pay their tuition.
they
So
ain't playing.
certain right. So certain wealthy minorities probably wouldn't be affected. Which once again, that data capturing stuff will let them know who those people are. So that's why you got to continue to have that kind of stuff. But just to that particular point, I'm saying it won't be a lot of inclusion, man. You know what I'm saying? It won't be a lot of inclusion, and it'll really just be a lot of. It just won't be a lot of inclusion, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody could be being biased, which always no different in the hiring process when it comes to admitting people. Like you can have people with the same scores, same exact scores, went to the
Going
same
with.
exact school.
Mm-hmm. Mm. You know what? That may be their process when we was thinking about how would they know as far as the numbers of the blacks and whoever coming in that they was to take it off the list. You come in on a personal interview with a board. You see what I'm saying? You got about 5 or 6 people at the board at the table,
I
different
get it, but you're still
departments.
gonna have to track that data. That data still gonna be at some point. It's gonna be
Yeah,
tracked. That
yeah, it's
you know
gonna
what I'm
get
saying.
tracked.
So
Yeah,
so the yeah. So what I'm saying is you okay. What I'm getting at is that data got to be tracked because you're not gonna at some point 3 years from now have PWI's majority something
no,
else
what I'm saying,
because
that may be their new way of tracking it, like bringing you in on a personal interview instead of just having you to check off if you black, white, or whatever American, this and that. Just come on in, like you get accepted. Come on in on the interview.
well, it's interesting you said that now times have changed, but I saw the interview with it was a reporter. I can't think of her name right now, but I think she went to Harvard because I think Harvard was one of the schools they did the votes on for this particular topic we're talking about. Uh, she was like, uh, due to affirmative action, they actually came and like they came and got her, interviewed her, like they came to her because they needed inclusion. So they came to her and interviewed her for
Mm.
her to go to Harvard. I'm saying without that, folks, they ain't finna come interview her. They just gonna bring in they folks in with the same scope. Like they had to come see that lady
Yeah.
because she was smart enough and they needed inclusion. So to meet that quota, like they had to go to see that lady in her house in her living room. That's a very positive side of it. Because what I'm saying, without that, she's still the same smart girl that wouldn't have got a shot to go to Harvard because that law didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Now did it take away from an opportunity of someone else with that same score? Yes. But I would say this. Generally, you're gonna have a good shot somewhere else because you're not in the minority. You know what I'm saying? Now maybe that's
Mm-hmm.
somewhere you wanted to go. I get it, I doubt if it was a legacy, because generally, you know, I doubt if it was. But I'm just saying, like, when you're talking about equal and playing field, if these are the things you're talking about, then those are things that kind of have to be done and need to be done. But I don't know, man. It's a tough situation, man. You know, now that I've been doing this show, and with the HBCUs and PWIs coming in, man, like that's why I'm very. I really wish I could have some get some people at some point that have really went through this experience and have it get some different opinion, because the more I look at it and think about it, it's getting very fickle, man. And I hate the fact that it boils down to resources, because from an athletic standpoint, I don't see no other way to go. You know what I'm saying? That's the way. If you got a shot at a Power 5,
go.
You got to go with NIL, bro. These kids got six-figure. I sent out a link the other day. High schoolers, you coming out of high school with six-figure NIL evaluation. So how could you leave high school and go somewhere where they can't even pay you what you valued at high school? You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So from an athlete standpoint, it's very, very. I'm leaning very hard one way. But when you're talking about scholastic, which I don't have that perspective, bro. I'm gonna say I ain't gonna put no percentage out there, but I'm very open minded on that. Very open minded on that from a scholastic standpoint. That's why I put out, well, okay, so if you're gonna take away affirmative action for the admission process, which I know they won't do, make the athletes have the same admissions process and see what that do, and see what happened with that. You see what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Because what I'm saying is, you're gonna drive a lot of people who normally could get in your school based off that law. You're gonna drive them to smaller or other universities, because they ain't gonna have no choice now. But you won't do the athlete like that.
Yeah.
But I thought it was called a university. I thought it was about school and molding minds, and so you're gonna shit on the scholar, that's what school was, for the scholars.
Yeah, but you know, they tried to do us the same way back when we was in school. Remember, we didn't need but like a 710 or better our like freshman and sophomore year. Yeah. By the time we were seniors,
you got on a sliding scale.
Yeah, but by the time we were seniors now in '96, by the time we graduated, now your GPA had to be equivalent to the SAT score. So that means the higher your GPA was, the lower you could have made on the SAT, or just the opposite. If you had a lower,
right? That meant by sliding scale. It wasn't equivalent. It was a sliding scale. So
yeah, but that's how they
GPA is.
But remember now, when we were younger though, 710. Remember, we had already took the test once before when we were young. By the time we were seniors, that 760 or 770 we had, whatever we made, they threw that out the door. That didn't even matter. Now what's your GPA is? I had a 2.675, but I made an 880 on the SAT. So they qualified me for Division 1, 2, 3, JUCO through the clearinghouse.
You scored higher than me.
Oh.
so what it was like when we was right before we was coming out a few years, I think maybe started in 93 or 94. So it was like the test had just came out, and it was kind of like trying to establish the guidelines. Because me and Larry was talking about, I think Larry Hill wasn't on the sliding scale.
I think when Larry was coming out, they were still propping players. Remember prop for I know when my uncle and my father then was coming out of school back in the 70s.
They did propping out. They did prop talking about prop 48.
Yeah, they would prop 48.
Yeah, they did that in our time too. I was just talking about in terms of they didn't establish the guidelines to like our junior or senior year with the sliding scale for the SAT.
Yeah, our senior. Yeah.
because I had in like because I passed it in my junior year because I had like I had a 3 point something. I tricked off my senior. My GPA fell down to like a 2 something.
Yeah,
But
man.
I was up in my 3. So when I took the test, all I had to have was an 810. And I scored like an 830. And I did it my junior year. So I ain't taking no more. I won't worry about because I was already approved. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it was on the sliding scale. But what I'm saying, but generally, like, when you're talking about scholars, you know, I'm not exactly right, but they used to have score like 13, 1400 on a max of a 15, I think. Back then, that
Oh
was
yeah,
15 or
yeah,
1600, something like that.
yeah.
It's been so
Yeah,
long.
yeah. It was
So
up
I'm
there.
saying to get into UGA, you have to score like a 1400 or something, bro. Like I ain't gonna sniff none of that.
Boy, no,
I don't
no
care how much
12s,
practicing and
no
prepping I'm
12s,
doing.
13s, and then
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, but I was catered to because I was an athlete,
I
which
see
in the
exactly what
sense
you're
was
saying.
which in the sense was affirmative action. You can't not saying you catered, but you brought me in for certain circumstances. You had to meet a quota. Like you, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have got in that school, but because I was an athlete, I was. So affirmative action, in the sense, I'm trying to tie those metaphors to speak; those be the same, which I know they're not. But just to give you an example, so what I'm saying is, if I couldn't have made it in UGA with my score, I would have had to go somewhere else, which more than likely going to be a smaller school.
Mm-hmm.
And
They
more
had
than
to go
likely,
across
it
here.
wasn't going to be no mid-major. It's going to probably be an HBCU. Matter of fact, I would have went there anyway. If I could have made a D1, I wouldn't even went to the mid-major. I would have went to the HBCU.
So you would have stayed home or you would have left?
I probably would. For me, I probably would have left. Oh, it just depends on what HBCU I went to. I couldn't have went to like none of the ones in the city, like Clark, Morris, Brown. Cause I was just too close to home. I was just too much of a knucklehead, bro. I would have.
Yes,
I wouldn't have made it the I wouldn't have made it the semester, bro. I wouldn't have made it. I had to leave Atlanta. So long as I was outside of Atlanta, I've been out.
Yeah. So took my ass outside too.
Well, you know, it is, you know, hindsight 50-50, man. So yeah, man, you know, I ain't gonna hold damn, we done been on over an hour, bro. So we gotta get out of here, bro. We done actually been on too long. I was looking at the wrong clock. So we done been on here an hour and 5 minutes. I try to keep it to an hour, man. Anything you want to say, man? Any shout outs, anything you want to give out before we leave, man?
Man, shout out to everybody, man, for watching the show, man. God bless, man. Big ups to everybody. Stay safe.
Yeah, man. I didn't realize, you know, time had went by like that. Same here, man. Shout out to everybody, man. If you like the content, man, we just chopping it up. Subscribe, like to the channel, comment, do all that stuff, man. Do all that stuff, man. We trying to, you know, I'm trying to get it going. But yeah, man, I'll be back to the same bat time, same bat channel next week, Wednesday 8:30. You know, giving just my damn opinion, you know, cause they like assholes. Everybody got it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got one. So I'll be here giving my same opinion. And with that being said, man, y'all start hearing me all through the week. Want to talk about the show and picking my brain, man. Get on here, chop it up with me, man. Chop it up with us. Let me know, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't talk about it, be about it, man. But with that being said, man, we out of here until next week, man. We out here, man.
Be safe. Peace.